Throughout history, our planet has been a place of both immense beauty and profound tragedy. While life, in all its forms, has flourished across the Earth, it has also been punctuated by moments of unimaginable destruction. These events, often sudden and unpredictable, leave scars on the landscape and etch themselves into human memory. Today, we journey together to revisit 10 of the most terrible disasters in human history. We will witness the raw power of nature unleashed and the profound impact it has had on humanity. From earthquakes that reshape the very ground we stand on to storms that rage with unrelenting fury, we will explore the science behind these events and the indelible mark they have left on our world. Join me as we pay tribute to the resilience of the human spirit, a spirit that, even in the face of overwhelming devastation, continues to rebuild and endure. On January 12, 2010, the island nation of Haiti was rocked by a catastrophic earthquake. Measuring a magnitude of 7.0, its epicenter lay a mere 8.1 miles beneath the surface, unleashing its full fury upon the unsuspecting population. The bustling capital city of Port-au-Prince, home to millions, was reduced to rubble in a matter of seconds. The earthquake, the strongest to strike Haiti in over 2 centuries, claimed the lives of over 200,000 people. Hospitals, already struggling with limited resources, were overwhelmed with the injured. The threat of disease loomed large over the makeshift camps that housed the 2 million souls left homeless. The Haiti earthquake serves as a stark reminder of the immense power of nature and the vulnerability of human life. High in the unforgiving terrain of the Himalayas, a seismic shockwave ripped through the Kashmir region on October 8, 2005. The Pakistan earthquake, registering a magnitude of 7.6, had its epicenter near the bustling city of Muzaffarabad. The tremors spread outwards with terrifying speed, shaking the ground with such violence that entire villages were flattened in an instant. Over 75,000 souls perished in the disaster, their lives extinguished in a heartbeat. The remote location and challenging terrain hampered rescue efforts, turning the aftermath into a race against time. Homes lay in ruins, schools reduced to piles of rubble, and hospitals, overwhelmed by the sheer number of casualties, struggled to cope. The harsh winter conditions that followed only exacerbated the suffering. Aid organizations from around the world mobilized, bringing with them medical supplies, food, and shelter. The Pakistan earthquake stands as a grim reminder of the destructive power of nature, particularly in regions where poverty and geographical isolation magnify the impact of such events. In late summer 2005, a monstrous storm gathered strength in the Atlantic. Hurricane Katrina churned towards the Gulf Coast, aimed at New Orleans. On August 29th, Katrina made landfall, unleashing fury on Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. Winds over 125 miles per hour tore through communities, reducing neighborhoods to debris. The storm surge overwhelmed New Orleans levees, flooding the city. Over 80% of New Orleans lay submerged, streets turned into waterways. Over 1,800 lives were lost in the storm and floods. The economic cost, over $81 billion, made it the costliest U.S. disaster. First responders and volunteers risked their lives to rescue the stranded. Katrina reminds us of nature's power and the need for preparedness. On December 26, 2004, a cataclysmic earthquake ripped through the Earth's crust beneath the Indian Ocean. The earthquake, registering a magnitude of 9.1, unleashed a chain of events. The sudden rupture displaced trillions of tons of seawater, generating monstrous waves. These tsunamis raced across the Indian Ocean at speeds exceeding 500 miles per hour. The first waves struck Sumatra within minutes. Coastal communities were swept away instantly. Over 230,000 people lost their lives in 14 countries. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami stands as a stark reminder of nature's power. In the early hours of July 28, 1976, the industrial city of Tangshan, China, was shaken to its core by an earthquake of unimaginable fury. The Tangshan earthquake, measuring a magnitude of 7.5, struck with such force that it nearly flattened the entire city, leaving behind a trail of devastation and despair. Buildings, many constructed without modern earthquake-resistant techniques, crumbled into dust and rubble, trapping countless residents beneath their weight. The initial shock, lasting a terrifying 23 seconds, was followed by a series of powerful aftershocks that compounded the destruction. Fires, ignited by ruptured gas lines and downed electrical wires, raged through the wreckage, adding to the inferno. The official death toll, released by the Chinese government, stood at a staggering 242,000, making it one of the deadliest earthquakes in human history. The destruction of factories, mines, and infrastructure crippled the local economy, leaving the region in ruins. The Tangshan earthquake stands as a grim reminder of the devastating power of nature and the importance of earthquake preparedness, particularly in densely populated areas. On March 11, 2011, Japan was struck by one of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded. The magnitude 9.0 earthquake off the coast of Honshu unleashed a chain of events with far-reaching consequences. It triggered a massive tsunami with waves exceeding 500 miles per hour. The waves engulfed coastal communities, sweeping away homes and businesses. The force dragged ships inland, far from the shore. The tsunami caused widespread devastation along Japan's northeastern coast. Sendai, Ishinomaki, and Rikuzen Takata were among the hardest hit. Over 15,000 lives were lost, with thousands more injured and missing. The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster added another layer of complexity. The disaster serves as a stark reminder of nature's power and the importance of preparedness. In the arid lands of the Horn of Africa, where survival is a constant struggle against the elements, a perfect storm of drought, conflict, and displacement converged in 2011, creating one of the most severe humanitarian crises in recent history. The drought, the worst in 6 decades, parched the earth, decimating crops and livestock, the lifeblood of the region's predominantly pastoralist communities. Protracted conflicts, particularly in Somalia, exacerbated the situation, displacing millions of people, disrupting traditional livelihoods, and hindering access to humanitarian aid. As food supplies dwindled and prices soared, malnutrition rates skyrocketed, particularly among vulnerable children. The Horn of Africa food crisis of 2011 stands as a stark reminder of the complex interplay between natural disasters, conflict, and human vulnerability. In the heart of southern Africa, where the mighty Limpopo River snakes its way towards the Indian Ocean, the year 2000 brought with it not the usual life-giving rains, but a deluge of biblical proportions, transforming the landscape into a watery wasteland. For weeks, the heavens opened, unleashing torrential rains that swelled the Limpopo River and its tributaries beyond their capacity. The floodwaters, engorged by days of relentless downpours, breached their banks, inundating vast swathes of Mozambique, a nation already grappling with the legacy of civil war and poverty. The floods struck with terrifying speed, transforming once fertile fields into raging torrents, swallowing homes, schools, and hospitals in their path. The official death toll stood at over 800, but the true number of lives lost to the floods and their aftermath, including disease and hunger, is believed to be much higher. The floods displaced over 1 million people, leaving them homeless and vulnerable. The Mozambique floods of 2000 stand as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of natural disasters, particularly in countries where poverty and inadequate infrastructure exacerbate their effects. In the spring of 1918, as the world grappled with the horrors of the First World War, a new and invisible enemy emerged, one that would claim more lives than the conflict itself. The 1918 influenza pandemic, often referred to as the Spanish flu, swept across the globe. The virus, an unusually deadly strain of influenza, first appeared in the closing months of the war, spreading rapidly through the trenches, where soldiers were particularly susceptible. By the time it subsided in 1920, an estimated 50 to 100 million people had perished worldwide. The 1918 influenza pandemic stands as a stark reminder of the ever-present threat of infectious diseases. In the shadows of human history, lurking amidst crowded cities and impoverished communities, a silent killer has stalked humanity for centuries. Tuberculosis, a debilitating respiratory disease, has plagued humankind since ancient times, leaving an indelible mark on our collective memory. Tuberculosis, caused by the bacterium Mycobacterium tuberculosis, primarily attacks the lungs, but it can also affect other parts of the body. While tuberculosis is curable and preventable with modern medicine, it remains a major global health threat, particularly in developing countries where poverty, malnutrition, and limited access to healthcare fuel its spread. The development of the first effective antibiotic against tuberculosis, streptomycin, in the 1940s, marked a turning point in the fight against the disease. However, tuberculosis remains a major global health challenge, particularly in developing countries, where it is a leading cause of death among people living with HIV/AIDS. The long and arduous battle against tuberculosis stands as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of scientific innovation. These 10 disasters, each a stark reminder of the fragility of human life, offer us more than just a glimpse into the past. They serve as powerful lessons for the future. As we've journeyed together through these tragedies, we've witnessed not only the immense power of nature, but also the extraordinary resilience of the human spirit. Let these stories serve as a call to action, a reminder of the importance of preparedness, resilience, and global cooperation in mitigating the impact of future disasters. Thank you for watching, and stay safe.